I'm just going to run through what I'm going to be using in 2020 and probably 2021 for weddings. For the past, I don't know where we are actually, 15 years, goes so quick. I've been using obviously a similar system, but I'm actually taking my website down and I'm going to change the style. So I'm obviously getting a little bit older now, so you can see there's a tripod in. I'm going to the style of my photography won't change as in the portrait end, but I'm not going to be doing so much reportage photography. I'm actually looking at employing a reportage photographer to come with me, and I'm going to more, shall we call it portraiture? So I'll just show you what I'm going to be doing. I know it seems odd showing your competition, maybe you're out there, but at the end of the day, this is the direction I'm going with my photography. So I've got a lot of products here. I mean, you'll know this one, 5D Mark 1, 30D, 50mm, 1.8, 70 to 200 f4, Seconic meter, 308B, that one is, or you've got the 308X as I found, so I'll link to all of this for you. And then the WhiBal card. This is a new tripod, which I'll link to all of this and there's many videos at the end of this one and in the description, links galore, so that you can get to different videos about everything. Obviously I can't talk in depth about the 5D Mark 1, but I've got videos on most of this equipment. So let's start with the tripod and why I've moved over to that and what's the big change. So with this one, we've got a monopod on one leg. It's carbon fibre, nice and lightweight. It's got a very good head on it. But also this is going to be my lighting stand. So as you'll notice over here, this is a soft silver umbrella. I'll try and get it out, but obviously you've seen a soft silver umbrella. This is actually 30 years old. I think it's a Lastalite one. Lastalite. Have a look. I think it's a Lastalite one, but I'll link to a decent quality one for you. So a soft silver is obviously in between a white and a shiny silver. There's a gold as well, but I've always found a soft silver is ideal, just in between them. If you get the white balance correct, which is why I use the WhiBal, and you get a decent spread of light, that's what I'm going to be using. So these are the additions really. Soft silver umbrella. I've got a bracket which I'll show you and I'll do more videos about, and we'll link to that. But this bracket, I want to make the simplest bracket that can take this light, which if you've looked at my other videos, I've just started using. Really impressed with this, a newer light. So that's just an overview really. And I know I've had a lot of comments because I didn't do a 2019, what I'm going to be using for weddings. The reason being is I was pretty busy last year, and I literally didn't have time to concentrate on YouTube. So this year I'm absolutely determined to get lots of tutorials out for you. So consider subscribing, comment below about anything I talk about with this equipment, and tell me what you're using. I'd really be interested in, flash guns that you've used that you think are really good. So I'm always interested in other people's ideas. So let's go through it all and I'll give you my reasons for using all this different equipment. We're going to try for just under 20 minutes for this. So if you bear with me, we're not going on for hours, we're going to do 20 minutes. So let's go through it. So 5D Mark 1, as you'll know, I love it for portraiture, weddings. It's been with me since the day they came out. I've had that body since the beginning. People that have looked at my other videos will notice that I used to have two 5D bodies and I've gone back to the 30D. The reason for going back to the 30D is tiny bit of weight, but also the crop sensor, which I'm liking with the 70 to 200. So because you get that slight extension, I found this with the 40D, because you've got that crop sensor with the 200mm, you can get certain angles. In the church, you can get ring shots. And as I look through my really old work, from from the very beginning when I had the 40D and the 70 to 200, I started noticing that I was getting more variety. So this brings in good variety. So you've got the 30D with the 70 to 200. Also, this system backs everything up really, because if you think about it, if I'm using the 5D and the 24 to 105, then this lens stops working. I can do a whole wedding with the 50mm 1.8 and the 5D, no problem at all. I can get out of a mess, but the chances are I've still got the 70 to 200, the chances of that breaking at the same time. So this backs itself up. The 30D, if the 5D went clonk, then I've got, well, as in the mirror falls off, we all know about that one, but the 30D and the 24 to 105, again, complete wedding, because if you think 24 is about 35mm, 105 is getting towards 160mm on the crop. I have done weddings with just that. So when I want minimum equipment, it's no problem. I've got a bit of cold at the minute actually, so if I'm sniffling a bit, I'm sorry about that. But let's carry on anyway. So camera wise, there's not much change except for bringing the 30D back on. I still rate this body. So the 30D is still something I really think is a good camera, and before the 40D went back, if you look, there's a lot of videos about the 30D and the 5D, that's how I started this channel, but you'll look at the button layouts, they're very similar between the two. So if this one fails, I can move over to this one, no problem at all. I won't have to think too much. So camera wise and lenses, not much change. This is in another video I called this the Mark III. It's not, this is the Mark II. So this is the image stabilized IS lens, and this is the Mark II. They brought out a Mark III, which I'll link to. One of my customers had it because I do a lot of photography training, and we went out with it, and to be honest with you, I love it, and I would consider upgrading because the stabilization is even better than this one. So I'm seeing an improvement with that. The Mark II version of the 24-105 is slightly heavier, but I've had good feedback and I've seen a lot of very good wedding photographers who are using the Mark II of the 24-105, and they're seeing a bit more weight, but optically they're seeing it's great on the 5D Mark IV. So if you were setting up today, people say that I buy cheap cameras. Well, that camera, as we all know, is the same as buying a 5D Mark IV today. So I'm not really buying cheap cameras. I just bought a camera once that absolutely worked for me, and I've just carried on using it. I still absolutely love the file out of it. I was using it for portrait. We did a knitwear shoot using this light, which I'll talk about in a minute. And the files for portraiture, I still beat anything that I've seen, to be honest. So the chances of me changing the 5D Mark I are pretty slim. Let's move on. I'll show you this flash, and if you've watched all, why do I mention this flash all the time? Well, it's so simple to use. That's the reason why. You're just up and down at the wedding, all your portraits, whatever you want to do. I just start in the middle, take the first shot, up, down, job done. It's also got an S1 and an S2 so that you can actually use two of these, and I am getting another one of these so that I can trigger this one, and the S1 and the S2 allow you to trigger this flash remotely. So again, I could have this flash on the tripod, which is the stand, and then I could use my soft silver umbrella with this bracket. So this bracket's coming in now, so I'll link to an equivalent bracket where you can put it together, so all the pieces that link together to make that, to me, that's the perfect bracket. That allows me to get in any position, use umbrellas, use flashes, use this light down here, so very useful. So it's taken many years to get to one single bracket, and you want it really simple. Weddings are fast. I'm determined to slow them down. It's either I slow them down or I stop doing them, to be honest with you, because they are going too fast now. So the reportage, documentary, relaxed, informal, that's been taken on by everybody. And One bit of advice I'll give you in the middle of this video, at 10 minutes now, so I've got to get on with it, is if you're setting up your own wedding photography business or you're 2 years in, what I would start looking at is long term. What are you going to be doing with it? And what I've realised, and I've been getting a lot of advice from people that have, say, got out of weddings and they've gone into other things, and you do get this burnout, and you've got to running around at weddings. The brides have got us running around, literally running to do these shots. Something's got to change. So what I'm doing is I've literally stripped out my website. If you go to richardbarley.co.uk, you'll see it's directed to Richard Barley Photography. It's my training site. I've literally got one page in there at the moment. That is because I'm starting from fresh. I've got a few images on there, and I don't want people actually seeing this new style, because the bottom line is it's going to be very different, and it's going to be very slow. So I'm only going to be looking to do 10 weddings a year, believe it or not. We used to do 42. So I'm looking to do 10 weddings, and I want a very formal setup. So that's the reason for going this direction. Just have a quick look at this. If you've looked at the other videos, you'll know I'll again link to this kit. £100 for 2 lights, 2 stands, 2 softboxes. This has been brilliant. And this is the thing, to be honest with you, that is changing my style, because LED lighting, being able to mix it with ambient and have a power supply and 2 batteries, that has made me think. So if you think about it, during winter weddings, what are we doing at winter weddings? Again, we're still running around. A lot of people are going 1.2 lenses, and that's fine, but I don't want to be doing that anymore. So this is all about slowing things down, changing the style. If you're wondering what these are, that's just a laser measure. So that is for setting up these lights very quickly. I can do my distances. I've got diagrams. So I've literally done all my diagrams now for my lighting setups for weddings, and distance is a massive thing. So this allows me to work quickly to get there. I don't want to delay the bride too much, but that allows me to set my lights up very quickly. Just measure the distance to your lights. Got my diagrams. The other thing is the Sekonic 308. That's going to speed things up with this sort of lighting. So it's also a flash meter, so it's ideal for the newer. So yeah, that's going to speed things up, and then get into a white balance very quickly with this new lighting. Being able to match that light with the flash and that light with ambient, which is what I'm actually doing in this video. That corner, believe it or not, is a soft, that's daylight at the moment. And what I've done is diffused it through an umbrella, and it's about 4000K. So what I've done is 4000K with one of these lights, and we're matching it all together quite closely. So things are changing. I think LEDs, you know, at weddings, it's got to slow down. Well, it hasn't got to. I mean, you know, it's probably my age, but I'm slowing down. So I'm going to slow the weddings down. And I'm going after a very specific sort of bride, to be honest with you. Somebody who's after real quality, top end, who's willing to slow down, spend more time doing the photography that matters, rather than just running around producing, well, hopefully I don't produce average results. Hopefully, you know, the standard was very high, but that's the reason that the kit changes. So I wanted to mention this because this is a big thing, taking this to a wedding, extra weight. So I wasn't going to jump on a tripod, and K&F sent me this through, and I'm absolutely over the moon with this. So this has changed everything. The monopod can be used with the 70-200 with the 5D. So I've got ceremonies covered, very lightweight, takes the pressure off your shoulders. So that's what I'm moving to. Again, the tripod is for when I want it to make it really formal. And the reason, you know, this is tried and tested. I've tried this before, but if you combine a tripod with an extremely big camera and a lens and go and do group shots, believe it or not, people pay attention. And we used to actually set up a tripod, and I used to never use it. I used to set it up, and just that, the shift from you're a reportage photographer over to you're a proper one, if you like, with a big camera and a tripod, was enough to make people pay attention. So that is going to be great, because all of a sudden things are going to slop. I'm always losing my words in this. So that combination will be ideal, and they will pay attention, will slow things down. Also lets you walk over to the group and start positioning people and talking to them. And if you're thinking on going very formal with this and the whole market is informal, watch this space, because I have a feeling that, you know, from talking to brides, they're actually a bit sick of reportage photography, and I think things will go slightly more formal again now over the next 5 years. I could be wrong, let me know in 5 years, but that's what I'm doing. So that is my kit for this year. Please comment below. We're at 16 minutes. I don't want this to be too long. I'm going to individually go through all this equipment again. There'll either be videos you can link to, you can click in the description, which will tell you about all of this equipment. And also at the end of the video, you should see some other videos pop up if YouTube are doing their job, and you can go off to them. And just remember that all of the Amazon links to this equipment, obviously the 5D Mark I doesn't exist anymore, unless you buy it second hand. Maybe I'll do some eBay links to this for you, and the 30D. But if you are using the Amazon links, this is something we have to say now, is they will send me 1%, 2% or 3% commission, which is great. It supports this channel. It pays for today. I'm not earning anything like what I want to out of doing YouTube. I'm just seeing it as being able to put my knowledge out there for you. So if you want to support me and this channel, just by clicking the Amazon links for any of this equipment, it won't cost you anything else. Amazon will just directly pay us 1%, 2%, which is next to nothing, you know, pence. But the bottom line is it really helps. So if you're not subscribed already and this is your first video, literally what you've got on the table there's lots of videos. So you'll gain a lot from this. I'm a photographer who's been doing it a long time, and, you know, making a shift to a new style. I'm also going to hopefully do a video for you where we're going to do a brand new website, brand new style. So it will be a wedding and portrait business with all this equipment, and we're going to start taking some images, and I'm going to do it as though I'm starting from scratch again for you, because I think that's always good. So we'll put behind us 15, 20 years, whatever it is, of doing this. We'll start from scratch, and I'll prove to you that you can do it. So if you're out there and you're thinking about starting your own business, watch this space, because there's going to be a lot coming out. So thanks for watching. I hope that's an overview for you of the equipment, and have a great day, nearly said it. This is one take stuff, you can tell, no editing. Okay, see you soon. Bye.